Hello, it's Healthy Tuesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Nima Akasha Zebere.
Hello, Murayo.
How you doing?
I'm fine. I'm excited.
What's exciting you?
I don't understand. You're excited with the calm voice.
My brother, today is his birthday.
Oh.
The only Akashat.
Oh,
The only
really?
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Ibrahim.
How many girls do you have? 5, bro?
4 girls.
4 girls and 1 boy.
One Okolam. Ilionikena Aloaye Akashat. Happy birthday. I wanted to call all his names so that we were always fighting. He's immediately after me. We fought all through childhood, always clashing. And we just settled over the weekend. So happy birthday.
That's
I
nice.
do love you. And Bumi's younger sister, today is her birthday. Bumi, our producer. I'm trying to get her name. I'll do it for you.
Hey,
He's in now, so he's Bumi.
Right. Stubborn. Yeah, who's stubborn? Okay.
They say our family now. Don't be my blood brother.
Okay.
Just come.
The Bumi that said you should say it. I hope that she's ready to defend you when the query comes.
Abby.
How are you doing, Tokwe?
I'm good. Grateful to God. I set a target all through this month that I was going to be drinking apple cider vinegar every morning, and I was going to be eating. I won't eat until like at least 12. I kept it at 2 p.m. most of the month, and I'm seeing result. I am happy, you know. And then I'm trying to push it into next month too. You know, it's always good to just challenge yourself and see what you can do. That's the reason I did keto, and I was happy about the result. But I don't want to do that anymore. I want to try something else. But it feels good to be just a little bit slimmer, because this thing they call fat is not good for the body. Honestly, you don't know. You will just wear all the clothes and everything will just be shooking out in different corners.
Please, I have learned something. COVID has taught me a lesson. My life is short. Enjoy it. I want to be slimmer, to be nice. But listen, I can't come and kill myself. I like rice.
You're not fat.
I would like to eat the food I like to eat. But as you said, discipline, in portion, you know, so we'll try to do it.
I eat chocolates. I still do. That's why I did intermittent fasting as my own means of dieting.
Honestly, but
the clothes look better. Like you will wear dress and you will like the way you look inside the dress.
Hiding busy.
I'm doing amazing. Everybody must love his skin.
Yes,
Look at that. Have flesh.
We can't all be skinny.
We should have some people that have flesh that somebody can touch.
Yes, now.
Everybody must not be slim. But I'm doing great. So I started. So I am doing a mentorship. 1-year mentorship program as an alumni of OLCA, that's Lanre Lushola. So he picked 50 of us to work with him closely for 1 whole year. And tonight I'm going to be teaching something, more like a group coaching. I want to show some of my small skills that I've learned, and a lot of people will be watching. I'm so nervous. This is the first time. On his platform. So we have about 50 life coaches all over the world, America, UK, and all that. And he's mentoring us very closely for the next 12 months. Wow. So tonight I'm going to be talking on practicing self-love. I haven't even prepared anything, but I know I'll calm down and I'll do. So I'm just nervous about it.
Oh, you're a star.
You told you to be nervous.
You know you'll be shining like this. I'll be there. What time is it?
I wish I
9 p.m.
9 p.m. Oh, I'll be there. Please send us reminders.
Yes, please.
Zoom.
Okay, it's going to be
live on IG. Oh, Zoom. You have to send us the link.
Yeah, I'll have to send you guys.
We'd love to have that.
We must always be learning.
Yes, so
how are you doing, Mariah?
I'm doing well. I got jabbed yesterday. Myself, my husband, a few other people. We got jabbed.
And you people survived.
I'm all right. Nothing has happened. My husband got money.
Clearly, what is jab?
So
we got
the vaccine.
Vaccines.
And the AstraZeneca.
So Nima,
I said it to her. I have one auntie like this that called me and warned me.
What's the plan?
Warned me not to take it.
Okay, Mora invited me to come and take it here, but you know that I like to report what happened on that side of town. So I'll be driving around the primary healthcare centers to see
what's going on there.
I'm going to get a message from one of my aunties like this. She warned me seriously
not to take it.
Tell me all the biblical injunctions not to take it.
Yes.
Maybe
you'll just show CCC on your head now.
Which is why we took it, so that we can explain to people that it's not,
There's no such.
I'm still thinking about it.
Consider thinking.
Yeah. All right, let's go on a break. It's Tuesday. So much happening today. But first, let's go through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Right. The nation. Nigeria is better, stronger as one nation, says Buhari. Foreign local debts rise to 32.9 trillion naira. Gas crucial to economic growth. Governors, Boko Haram sponsors behind banditry and kidnapping. Government seeks more cash for security and vaccine. 2 billion naira drugs seized at Lagos airports as Buhari leaves for London on medical vacation. Okay.
Should we talk about
the major headline?
Go ahead, please.
So, yesterday, the president attended the colloquium for the anniversary of Ashwad Bola Ahmed Tinubu's birthday yesterday in Kano. He attended virtually, the vice president attended virtually, and several other state governors who couldn't make it beyond Abuja Airport also attended virtually. And he was talking about how we are better as a nation, talking about how, you know, he was part of those who fought for the unity of this country in the 60s and the 50s and the 60s, and how it's important that we remain one nation, especially in the midst of all this diversity that we have right now. I really love the fact that he's talking about us remaining one nation, but we know it has to be a process of work, of hard work and conscious work, not, you know, keeping quiet when you need to be quiet or when you like to be quiet and speaking only when you'd like to speak. For every time we sense a beginning of any tension, we speak immediately to curb it, and that's how we remain one nation. So I'd love him to add that.
Right.
Yeah, so the president met with the leadership of the National Assembly in the State House, Abuja, yesterday to discuss a supplementary budget to fund the COVID-19 vaccines and also for insecurity. So they are seeking for money to be able to buy more ammunition for the military. And they, according to the meeting they had, they said that we realized that this COVID-19 has just opened our eyes to see that every country is for themselves. We hear now that UK is stopping, you know, bringing vaccines to taking vaccines to other countries. The US is stopping it, even in India. So now it's every country for yourself. We need to be able to get funds so that we can start supporting our scientists to be able to create vaccines for us. That we have Nigerians all over the world who are creating vaccines in those countries who will likely look at bringing them back in to see what they can do for us
All right,
here.
I have to move on to, but I want to take this story about the 2 billion naira worth of drugs. So at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport yesterday, on 28th actually, on Sunday, during a clearance, passengers, there was a 7.1 kg methamphetamine carefully concealed in food spices by a suspect. His name is, trying to get his name. But the point is that the commander was saying that the closure of the borders occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic is responsible for the surge in the prices of these meths and other illicit products, illicit drugs, and it's caused a lot of them to be using the ports, the airports. And that's why NDLA is really going hard on these people. And I'm so happy they were able to catch this man yesterday. His name is Anede Chimeze Bright, one of the suspects that was trafficking these drugs. Moving on now to The Punch. Buhari leaves for London medical holiday today as doctors set for strike. Oyo students vandalize vehicles as trucks kills 4 an Okada rider. Police arrest woman for allegedly killing mother in Ondo. Some terrorists are bandits. Kidnappers fund operations with ransom, says Fayemi. Discos failed to pay 510.53 billion naira in 2020, says NERC. Ohaneze advocates National Summit plans partnership with southeastern states. PDP attacks APC over alleged 25 trillion naira missing fund, demands probe. And again, Senate summons Emefiele says the Federation account $9.5 million missing. Right, which story are we taking?
The woman.
Yeah. So, okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
So this human interest, the woman, Blessing Jimo, murdered her mother, sort of slaughtered or butchered her mother to death in a farm in Ondo State. Her mother is Mrs. Ijoma Odo. She said she had been told by a pastor that her mom was responsible for her mental health and that she's been going through a lot of issues, and that she kept forcing her mother to let own up or even or for her to force her mother to sort of perform magic and make her life better, and it wasn't things were not changing, so she just killed her mom. So I think it is by default now for anybody who believes in this kind of saying that your mother or father is responsible for a problem. Let's just assume you are not in the right frame of health. And then we must also mention that people with a certain level of mental health condition called schizophrenia also have this what we call Chinese blues, where they see people that are normal in front of them in various forms. And we must advocate it so much so that at least even if you're having it at the back of your mind, you might start, doubting yourself.
There are lots of talks on mental health.
We need to
people don't seek professional help. They pray about it, like in the case of this woman, they go to churches and they have prophecies rather than going to seek professional medical help, because it is they can be diagnosed and treated like drugs.
Okay, which are readily accessible because expensive. Yes. So 4 students of Ito High School in Oyo State were killed by accident. This particular truck driver was trying to avoid a stray ram that got into the road. The truck actually had sand on it, and then he ran into a bike that carried 4 students and killed them. And students were very upset. They went on rampage. They put up bonfires. They burnt about 3 sand trucks down in that area. The police have started, and they said one of the students, there were actually 5 students. One of them recovered in the hospital, the female, but 4 died instantly. And, they were talking about the fact that they've advised people not to be overloaded on the bike. So we're not even sure if these students are from one parent, because 4 of them were on a bike going home after school. So if the bike man had carried just 2, the way a passenger and a bike would have had just 2 casualties, but now 4 students dead, so and
we need to address
really painful.
There are 2 issues here. One, the issue of bike as a means of transportation, and with the bike drivers not being trained, driving in opposite traffic, thinking they can wave through trailers and all of that. That happened even this morning, and the driver was looking at me like I'm the person in the wrong, and I'm wondering, I'm on my lane. You came to my front, I'm supposed to stop. That's on one hand. On the second side is, why do we resort to self-help when things like this happen? So people died. You don't have to burn down trucks, and the vandalism would have continued if it was unchecked. And it could have led to even more lost casualties. We need to train ourselves. And these are students, they're educated people who are resorting to burning down trucks when they are fellow students.
That's what they see.
Education is not maturity of mind. Small, you go reach there.
We have to run, but nobody took the picture story. Stranded Nigerians in Saudi Arabia during the arrival at the Nnamdi.
There was no story. There were pictures. They arrived yesterday. They were, I think the Nigerian Diaspora Commission had done some form of rescue, and they arrived yesterday. It was online everywhere, but the Punch didn't add the story.
Okay, moving on to Daily Sun. Protesters ground APC headquarters, demand extension of membership registration and revalidation. IPOB dares Navy on the Eastern Security Network. FG flags up 50 billion export support program. Again, Obaseki wins as tribunal dismisses all petitions. Nigeria stronger together, says Buhari. President leaves for London for medical checkups. And masterminds of the insurgency sponsoring banditry, kidnapping to fund campaign. Which story are we taking in Daily Sun?
Obaseki has won again.
Yes.
Let's just put that out there. The election took place in September 19. The governorship election in Edo State specifically, and his victory of the governor has been reaffirmed. Can we now move on into governance and leave politics behind? The Edo citizens are waiting,
So some people are protesting at the APC headquarters in Abuja, saying that they should extend the registration and revalidation of their candidate, of their membership, that the APC just concluded. So
Final story on the Daily Sun. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Niyi Adebayo, disclosed that during the launch of the Export Expansion Facility Program, which is supposed to help exports programs, exports goods across the world. And the idea is to increase Nigeria's export capacity in the near term and its export volumes in medium term. So that's good news for people like you, those of you that are,
we have to run. Access it.
Let's go on a break. When we come back, we continue review of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
thanks for staying with us. So we're still reviewing the papers. We're going to move on to Vanguard. Buhari at Tinubu's colloquium, why we must avoid war. FG states the debt profile rises to 32.92 trillion naira, says NBS. Southeastern Nigeria no longer safe, says Igwe Achebe. Buhari leaves for medical checkup in UK today. Secession, Nigeria's unity paramount to traditional rulers, says Sultan. Kidnapping proceeds used to fuel Boko Haram insurgency, says governors. And Nigeria competing with bandits to recruit unemployed youth, says Tinubu at his colloquium. Okay, which story are we taking?
Okay, I could do the Obi of Onitsha. Okay. Igwe Alfred and Emeka Achebe has told the people of the Southeast that they should step up in their security consciousness so that they are not, turned to bushmeats by the headers. And he's saying that, I think Ohanes and Igbo at the same time had given a 48-hour ultimatum to headers carrying AK-47, that they do not want to see them in their forest anymore. If you are caught after 48 hours, you will likely become the bushmeat. And, he's also saying that the Southeast governors need to work together to be able to fight insecurity. There are a lot of, in their forest, there are a lot of killer herdsmen who are parading, killing people. I think in Enugu State, 8 persons were killed, butchered, and the federal government is already saying that it's the Eastern Security Network that actually carried out the attack. IPOB, on the other hand, is saying that we set up the Eastern Security Network not to fight security operatives, but to protect our own people since the federal government had failed. And there's a plot somehow that the federal government will now come and start killing innocent citizens, blaming the deaths of people on the Eastern Security Network, that they are not for it. They are in the forest looking for the killer herdsmen to handle them to save their people.
Right. I'll take the Tinubu story, his comments in the colloquium. We know that the 12th colloquium that marks his birthday, he mentioned that what Nigeria needs is an economic stimulus and not austerity measures capable of driving Nigerians deeper into poverty. Then he mentioned the fact that he laments the fact that unemployment rate is as high as 33% in the country, complaining about the fact that there are many unemployed youth and that there's now a competition in terms of bandits recruiting these unemployed youth. Is proposing that the government employs about 50 million of these youth to fill the acute shortage in military and in police. That way, there won't be idle hands available for banditry, because the bandits are actually recruiting these young people. So his position is for us to see how we can bring in 50 million youths into military and police.
Feeding these people, kitting them, all this would also stir up the economy because you're going to be providing food for them and what they wear and all that. So that was part of what he was saying at his colloquium. I was going to take the story from Dr. Fayemi, who is the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum. And he was saying that there's a direct correlation between the insurgency in the northeast and what we're seeing manifest as banditry in the northwest and kidnapping in the southwest. So the funds that are being taken from the kidnappers, they are the ones funding the insurgency with the Boko Haram. So he's saying that we must have a collective approach simultaneously to ensure that across board that we resolve this issue of insecurity. Okay, let's move on. Nobody has a southeastern. Okay,
I just
did that story.
Now, yeah.
Okay, let's move on now to The Guardian. I think you're taking that story.
No, I'm taking the last story in The Guardian, the Fintech.
Nigeria pushes Fintech revolution in Nigeria. Revenues to hit $543 million by 2022. Those behind insurgency in Northeast responsible for escalating banditry. We just talked about that. Row over 27 billion naira aviation intervention fund. Which story we're going to take, Tokwe?
Yes, I was going to take the Fintech story. There's a Fintech revolution in Africa, and Nigeria is at the head of that revolution. We have many new industries that are within the finance technology space, and they've been able to, between 2014 and 2019, they have raised $600 million in funding. 122 million was raised within the African landscape. Then followed by second is Kenya, but Nigeria is #1. And I see the government might want to take the glory for this, but these are young Nigerians who against all odds, raise these companies, and many of them are trying to do that, and the government is not encouraging. So I believe that government should create more enabling environment for more young people to embrace technology to bring in the funds we are looking for.
But government can still take credit to some extent because it's based on our GDP that we could,
it's based on the evaluation. The evaluation of the company and the ideas of the company owners.
The article says, based on the GDP of the countries in question, that's why we are leading in this sector.
Okay, our final paper is the Nigerian Tribune. Let's find a story we've not taken. I regret taking my pastor's advice. Woman who killed mom over witchcraft laments. Suspected cultists set another police inspector ablaze in Akwa Ibom. Medical University Alake presents MOU to Senate Committee on Health. Students youth on rampage as truck kills 4 in Ibadan. PDP demands review of 2.1 billion naira per kilometer Abuja-Kano road for contract. FG states debt profile rose in December 2022, 32.9 trillion naira. Buhari off to the UK for medical trip. We didn't mention that one. Okay.
We're talking about it now.
We'll talk about it a bit later.
So our goes out to the entire police force because there seemed to be like a consistent attack on police officers. An inspector was set ablaze in Akwa Ibom. They said they are suspected hoodlums. We don't have enough policemen, and we mustn't discourage them because we need them. We saw what happened when they protested and they left the roads. We need to get them back on the road. We need to encourage them because they are sacrificing their life and their resources for us. So please protect our police officers.
It's not like their welfare is all that.
This man now, who knows what his family will get? Please, IGP, take care of this.
Okay, we have to go on a break now. When we come back, we talk to our first guests of the day. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So, when you're sick, where do you go? When you feel that you're not well, you go to Nigeria's General Hospital. Well, guess what? Our president, Muhammadu Buhari, isn't feeling very well, and according to reports, today we'll be proceeding to the United Kingdom for a routine medical checkup for 2 weeks. It is well. So, we'd like to hear your thoughts on this. We've discussed this several times before because this is not the first time our president is traveling. He's traveled quite a few times. And we just thought it's important to keep reminding ourselves that are there citizens and lesser citizens? Are there those who deserve to go to the UK for checkup, and those of us who have to go and queue at general hospitals? And what are your thoughts on this narrative that we've been running for years upon years, and the fact that nothing seems to be done to change it? And we're not going to stop talking about it because the irony of it is what is quite disturbing. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this before we open our phone lines. Yes.
The citizens and sister, please. Wow. The truth is, they've been kidnapping people since, but the first attempt on Otom's life, the IG put up a team that they are combing the forest in Benue State to find the people that attempted the governor's life. So citizen past citizen.
Yes. Let me even add to that a bit, because somebody was trying to defend, somebody told me that they are citizens and they are citizens. And when I was trying to get him to explain to me what he meant, he said, Morale, in the US, one citizen, if something happens to you in one Kafanshan, they will send all the apparatus of the US government to save your life, to protect you, because you are a citizen. The medical facility is available for you. Every single thing, the social amenities are available for you because you're a citizen. But in Nigeria, if anything happens to you, you're on your own because you are not a citizen. However, the citizen, who is the governor or the president, the apparatus of the government, the apparatus will be used to protect that person because it's an important VIP. That is the citizen. You and I, we are the masses.
So in Nigeria, you see, the V's are not equal.
No, it's the V's
that citizenship is not equal. There are men, all men are not All men are not born equally. And who we are and the impact of one loss of life is not the same. You lose the president, you have a vice president, become the president immediately. So you lose the vice president and the president together, you have the Senate president. Because, so there are, if we lose the average person on the street, it does not, the impact is not much. It's only the family that will not have income. But one person, so the citizenship.
No, let me add that. You see these V's are what is killing us. So this morning the headline was that they will play match for Teslim Balogun. And so only the people that have sticker of VIP or can pass downstairs. Every other person a row upstairs. So sometimes it's painful. I'm not laughing.
But the truth is that...
But that's the distinction that is killing us. So if you are a citizen and your family just try to be in the elites, or they just know somebody there, and you go and lose, you are a valuable something.
Yes.
So it's all kind of people that, you know, they will pay money for. But if you are just saying nobody, they go and pick you, you better start begging. But I don't know nobody. Check my phone.
But let's get serious. This is
let me get to business stuff on this.
So I've always said it here, that till our leaders begin to feel the pulse of the people, till they begin to experience exactly what we experience, it will seem like they are not sensitive of what is happening because it's not pinching them. They are not they are not there. They do not queue at the general hospital. They do not go with ailments and they are giving, come back 2 months, come back 3 months because there's no space to be attended to. We have yesterday, I took this story, National Association of Resident Doctors are about to go on an indefinite strike on Thursday. Yeah. And then the president is traveling today. So is it that he's not aware that something is going to happen? So he will go and take his treatment. But those other people, the masses, like you called it, will be left stranded because they have not done what they are supposed to do. So is it that we should just... See, the thing is, you see why some people will say, anyhow, I have to make money. Because the truth is, you are one sickness away from poverty. Nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about you. Till our leader, I've said this here, if we really want a change, we need to ensure, as the electorates, that that political office is no longer lucrative. If you want to serve, go there and serve. Without those plenty perks of office. After serving, go back to your job. You must have a job. You must have a profession. You must have a career that you fall back to after your year expires.
This even reminds me of the Nigerian citizens. Many are saying that they're not going to take the vaccine because they want to travel to God. They feel more comfortable going to Dubai, in the UK, because they're not just, we masses are the ones taking in the healthcare centers. They, the chosen few, would rather go abroad because they have those options. So is the reality is, are we on our own? If the government is actually working on these social amenities, what are the timelines we're giving to them? Because the fact that they are still they're still allowed to travel outside for medical to educate, for education. These are the key factors: education, healthcare, infrastructure. You're going outside the country for education. How in the world would you understand that people the ones here in Nigeria?
Mariah, so for me, I think that we've said it as like I'm tired.
No, we keep saying it.
And yes, we mustn't get tired. So we've been here. The president has gone several times. I can even understand. Our president is old, obviously, and he's already had his medical history with these doctors. They probably have been treating him since forever. However, as a grandfather, and I look, and I've said this several times, that our president is old enough to be my grandfather, so I would in no way disrespect him. I don't want him to die. I want him to continue to enjoy his life. This is his latter years. But what is he doing? Because the reason I campaigned for him in the first term, I didn't campaign in the second term for him because he disappointed me in the first term. And I didn't campaign second term. And I campaigned for him in the first term because I felt like he would be hungry to leave a legacy. Even if the legacy is that I came in, there were no hospitals, now we have good hospitals. But our president seemed to not understand the situation on ground. Just last month, my friend would have lost her younger sister, who is a sickler, because she had a crisis, went to the Lasut General Hospital. Obviously, Lut was not a place to go. She went to Lagos State Teaching Hospital, and they said they didn't have any place for her to be treated, that she needed to go to a private ward, and that she needed to deposit 750,000 naira. This is a young lady whose dad has died already. whose mom is not in the States. So she had a younger sister, both of them less than 30, looking for how they were going to raise 750,000 naira, and that girl would have died. They didn't treat her. There was no vein, there was nothing. She was not even responding. This is how we lose potential. That person could have been the next person that will build the next Flutterwave. We will not be celebrating the tech industry and how much they brought in, but we did not provide them opportunity to live. We didn't let them live. Many people would have dying every day, would have survived if they had access to medical care. So presidency, I don't mind if you are going to UK for your medical treatment, but what is the quality of treatment that the rest of us have access to within this country?
No, I mind. No,
he's already getting treated there. We cannot change it.
No, you should mind. That's what
I'm going to do, but I'm just going to ask him that, it's the same doctors. Nigerians are leading everywhere in the world. One of our greatest exports is medical doctors. Apart from Bonner Boy, their group.
Yes.
Our major export is medical doctors. Just graduate here.
In fact, let me make you laugh. I have 2 doctors, 2 pediatricians I call every time whenever I have any. One of them, I called him yesterday, and it sounded like a UK, like I just go to relocate. Just like you said, okay, Auntie, I'm in Canada, and I'm like, hey, uncle, you have gone to Canada.
So once they cross, you don't trust them here because light's not there. Hospital facility not too good like that, and oxygen can finish. But once you cross border, it's the same Nigeria.
So the same brain,
but you trust doctor. One of my family, in fact, my mother's family is a neurosurgeon in this country. Professor of neurosurgery. I know the major number of politicians that Professor Danesi is their private doctors, but
from the abroad.
So I just want to reel out what the National Association of Resident Doctors wants. Simple. I want to see whether it's big thing. So they want upward review of current hazard allowance to 50% of consolidated basic salaries of all health workers, and payment of their outstanding COVID-19 inducement allowance, especially in state-owned tertiary institutions. And they're asking again, payment of death in service insurance for all health workers who died as a result of COVID-19 infections or other infectious diseases across the country. I just want to know whether it is big.
Any of these things.
Because if Governor Wike can vex and say, oh, love you,
10 million.
10 million. How many guns our National Association of Resident Doctors, how many they should multiply themselves? If we talk about this insurance money, can't somebody just vex from one state allocation, not even waiting for the insurance company and vex and give them, so yeah, you can go and work and motivate them? Because we are talking now, our president had an emergency that almost made it reasonable for us to allow him to go to the UK for treatment. Since that time that you have gone and come back.
This one is a medical checkup. He's just going to go and check. Am I okay?
Now, I'm talking about the one that was serious. That one that, the planes, everything. And even they had to, because now when the president is traveling, we don't have a vice president he can hand over to. Our constitution just sort of press pause. No. Let me finish. Let me finish. In the other time, he finally did have to hand over and write a letter to the National Assembly that I'm going, and Professor Shiba takes over. I am waiting to see democracy. The way I studied it when I was doing constitutional law, and we're doing inside class, where you will give hand over to your vice president, and the office of the vice president is active. But this one, I'm just growing up in Nigeria and doing like this. I can't even give my children examples and say this is why it's working like this. The conversations are no longer interesting.
There was a professor from Harvard that was saying that, in his own view, because the conversation is that, is democracy even working in Africa? But based on the research he came with, he said, listen, it's still the best option that he was using, I think Mozambique and I think one other country where it's still very, that democracy is still the way to go if we practice it right and ensure there's equity across the various
deputy we are showing you now.
Sorry?
You are going on leave, but you are afraid that they will not see my deputy. Maybe if I come back, that deputy will just take over my office.
The last one that you did, that
you go on leave.
Yes, that you sacked
that was the end.
That was it now.
You should go on leave.
Let's go on a break. I don't even know if we can continue this
conversation. I've not landed my point. All these ones are just
let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll see if we can continue or then bring in our guests. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still on this issue of our president, our citizen president traveling abroad for medical checkup. We'd like to hear your thoughts. Please call us on 081-270-538-687 and 091-390-76948. You can tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweets. Yes.
Let me just clarify. I didn't say we don't have a vice president. We do have a vice president. I'm saying the office needs to be activated. The president can go as much as he wants, but immediately he's not in the country.
Yes.
Our constitution provided an elected office, not an appointment.
Yes. Yeah.
I keep emphasizing that elected, we Nigerians are provided who will hand over to, not a chief of staff, not a kitchen cabinet.
I remember his wife recently just went for medical. I mean,
she does arrive
in Dubai for 6 whole months.
Yes.
So she's back now. Back and now go.
So that's why it was.
Was it waiting for 6 months?
Yeah, then decided to stay back for other reasons.
So that's why it was paining me that if the president had the scare that he had in that time in 2015, and then you now come back, and we did not see changes in our across all medical facility across the country. And you remember our medical facilities also suffered the NSAS. They went into some hospitals and vandalized. How much?
There was COVID.
Now we
Which is why we should have jumped.
The doctors are on strike for COVID.
The president's son also had a medical crisis and he was flown abroad.
No, I think they treated him here.
It was an accident. No, it was
Germany. No.
Yes, so
there were two. Nima, there were two. There was one that he went to Germany.
He took
a
treatment in Germany. The bike accident.
Yes, that one was Germany. Then the second one.
The point is,
our hospital cannot retreat emergency of bike accidents.
Obviously, our hospitals are not good enough for our political office holders. Our hospitals are not good enough for them to risk. For them, it's a risk to their life to be treated in Nigeria. When we have a few people, not up to 1 million, not up to 100,000, not up to 10,000, not up to 1,000 people who are controlling our resources, who use our resources to keep their life at the expense of the millions of other people in this country.
Let me take this call from Tubosun in UK. Are you there, Tubosun?
Hi, hello, Murayo. Long time.
Yes.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, long time. I just want to contribute to, when you guys are talking about this morning, regarding the president getting treatment in United Kingdom.
Yes.
I used to think that, maybe president or any people in government shouldn't be going out of the country to get treatment. So, but if we look at it the other way around, I think we look at it in the way of, human rights. Yeah, everybody have right to life. So, I think if any person, regardless whether you are president or you are just ordinary citizen, at least everybody have right to go and get treatment, where you think is best for you.
Right.
But on the other way, I understand that the healthcare system in Nigeria is not that very good. And I think government need to work on that. And besides, let's say President Buhari is in Nigeria. For example, there are some hospitals in Nigeria that even ordinary people cannot afford. So I think these are the things. Even if there are some hospitals in Lagos that I don't think Nigerians can afford too. Yes, so despite that hospital is in Lagos, many Nigerians cannot afford it.
Right. Thank you very much, Tubosun. So he has a right.
He has a right if the systems are working. If there's a healthcare insurance plan for the average citizen to walk into the hospital without thinking of what to sell to be able to pay the hospital bill. We have people who lose their children because of simple malaria. They cannot afford to treat their children of malaria, and the kids die. We have all of those. Now, if the systems are working, what is patriotism? Patriotism is that you patronize your own business. Is
at
that
the expense of your life?
No. If your systems are working,
why is your life the
that the American president went to China for treatment? How many times? Patriotism shows you are a citizen. Hold on. Shows you are a citizen of the country. You want your country to be better, and you use your own thing. We are saying it's the rights that we are making here.
Okay.
We're the clothes that we are making here. The rights now that we are saying we should eat. Do you know that our president? I don't know how they cook, but I know that it's basmati rice that they are eating. I can tell you that is that rice that they are eating.
You don't know.
But you tell the common man, use your own thing.
So let us
you are not doing the same.
So let us go back to
good for the goose is good for the gander. So see, Morayo, give us a good welfare, a good healthcare system.
I get the point.
If you now say you want to travel outside, nobody will be looking at you, even though you are not supposed to, because you're supposed to represent your own people and be patriotic.
Okay, fine. I want us to stay on the point in a minute. Now, somebody is saying that as a person, you have a right to school abroad because you can afford it.
Yes.
You have a right to go and get medical checkup abroad because you can afford it.
Yes.
You are a citizen.
Yes.
You have a right.
Yes.
That was Tuboso is saying that why are we criticizing our president? I'll come to talk now. Okay. Why are we criticizing our president for going abroad if it's his personal funds?
No. So that's the thing we're qualifying. What I said earlier was that it is very, very wrong, and it is injustice for less than 1,000 of the population of Nigeria to spend the resources of millions to live a comfortable life. And then the rest are left to hustle. The medical bill, the average politician has a medical, they have a medical budget. They have a budget for medical bill. Abroad, even our judges had to fight for them to have a medical checkup abroad, allowance abroad, written there. So they have access to Forex that is not available. For businesses to survive, is given to political class to go abroad.
That's our money now.
For me, that is mismanagement of our resources that we don't
Let me
have.
take this call from the UK. Good morning, are you there? Hello,
From
Eddie.
the UK that they are going to go and
Hello?
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please. You're live. Yes, you're live. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate you people. I always try to listen to you every morning.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate you. My contribution is that my doctor here is a medical doctor. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you clearly. Go ahead, please.
Yes, my doctor is a medical doctor here in UK. We have very good qualified Nigerians that can treat anybody at home. One Nigerian doctor, my own doctor is a medical doctor. All we need is to equip our medical facilities. All this time of including our doctors. Our doctors are doing very well in UK. Hello, are you hearing me?
I hope difficult to hear you, Mr. Sir.
He's talking about, he says his daughter is a medical doctor there abroad. And he has many of them like that. All we need to is to equip our own, and the doctors are doing.
Even Nigerians who are doctors abroad have come home to set up. Many of them are frustrated.
There's no power.
I wanted to answer the person that said you have freedom if you can afford it. The question is if you can afford it, not based on taxpayers' money.
Thank you.
You know that means I can afford it, but they are removing it from my salary, and I cannot now afford it because they've taken it. They've taken it so everybody's own, and you cannot afford it because we have placed you on a particular level of your excellency. So my problem with Nigerian political class and leaders is that there's this obvious disconnect between them and the people they are claiming to lead. When the president came in, there was I remember that time we used to call it body language thing. He even voiced the language that nobody in this government will be using anything abroad. He reduced travels, and then he had an emergency. They say this one was scary because between January to March, at least it was a long time. He came back, he still went back. Okay, we agree, said that one was an exception. But what happened? What did you learn from that incident? I would have expected change, but it didn't happen. So this obvious disconnect is also in his government, and whoever is coming, we must find the connection.
What is the way forward?
If your child graduated, some of them have 2, 3. If one child graduated, I don't talk of all the children. I'm not fit to be a president in this country. Of course, you will ruin our education system, and so does our medical system.
In terms of way forward, one of the key things that we need to work on, we've already said it, everybody should use medical facilities in Nigeria. That's just one of. The second is, taxpayers' money should not fund exorbitant lifestyle that the average Nigerian cannot afford across board. our money should not fund it. So if you want to do it, it must be based on your basic salary, your personal pay, your business money.
And even though our House of Assemblies should adjust the rule books that gives you this largesse to share. Because they give there's these benefits that the governors, deputy governors, and all the other officials get just because of the laws we have in the National Assembly.
But the truth is, the National Assembly will not adjust what will bite them. It's about selfishness. I really do not know the sort of what will happen, because we need a different body to, recreate and amend the Constitution to favor the common man, to favor Nigerians. So once you're a Nigerian citizen, there are certain things that should come to you.
See, based on that you just said now, remind our Nigerians again how important the roles of the lawmakers are. So we are voting electing them, the House of Assembly, and we must open our eyes.
Yes, so I'm be sure that they will not go there and change.
Not just focus on president and governor. It is the lawmakers that are almost like the most important people right now. We must be sure who they're bringing into office next time. That's all we can take. When we come back, we'll continue another topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So to wrap up on our conversation earlier, we're going to read some tweets and then take Dr. Femi Ogunremi, who was a doctor in the United Kingdom and is back here in Nigeria. Good morning, sir. Are you there?
I'm here. Thank you.
Good to have you on the show. I know you've been hearing our conversation and hearing what we were talking about earlier. Could you just share with us quickly your experience working in the UK, coming back to Nigeria, and why you think it's so difficult for Nigeria to begin to fix our medical system here?
Okay, so thank you for having me. I think when we look at the situation in Nigeria, comparing it to what happens in the UK, I think we have to look at the health system that we operate. I think that's the first place to start. The system is made up of so many things, and those things are like ingredients that will then determine the result we get. In the UK, things are well structured. If I see a patient, for instance, in the UK, and I leave this patient, I know that I can reasonably go home and sleep. I know that the next person that is going to see this patient, I trust their judgment. And so, but if I come to Nigeria, if I see somebody, I will still have my own concern about what's going to happen to this patient next. And that's where we look at the trust that we have in the system that we operate. So when there's no trust, you can't rely on things, and that leads to you looking for alternatives. So the system in Nigeria, where I'm not pointing an accusing finger at anyone in terms of maybe a profession or people who are delivering care. It's just that the system is a bit chaotic, and we're not getting the results that we actually need that can help us. If I go to the hospital, I'm expecting to be taken care of, and in the end, I want a result whereby I get well. But if I don't trust any part of the system to deliver that, then it becomes a major issue.
Okay, all right, sir. Let me ask you, who's responsible for creating a system that can be trusted? Whose responsibility is it? Is it the doctors, the nurses, the citizens, the government? Whose responsibility? Because we want a solution to our problems now.
Yes. You see, the truth is very hard. And if we do not say the truth, we don't get to the root of the problem. I won't say it's the doctor, the nurses, or the pharmacists, or whatever. I think it's the governance that will run. Leadership, especially the leadership of our healthcare, service. The leader is the one that has a vision. When we have no vision, we will lose it. If there's no vision, there's no direction. And the problem we have in Nigeria is our leaders, as harsh as it may sound, I think in majority of situations, we don't have a vision. We're just running in the jungle. And I think it's the bedrock of the problem we have. Let me cite an example. There is an hospital here in Lagos State that I think about 4 years ago, the leader of that hospital decided he was going to change this hospital from where it was to somewhere. He invited me. I went to that hospital. I remember my very first time. It's Federal Medical Center, Butemeta. It was the MD there when he was appointed. He called me and said, I want to turn this hospital to be like the hospital, your hospital in the UK. And then I said, okay, it's all boiled down in the vision of the leader. That's your vision. Let's work it. And then today, if you go to FMC, Butemeta, I was part of the team that initiated the change in that hospital, to support his vision. I renovated the very first unit in that hospital. And that, if you go to that hospital now, you think you're in the UK. I was proud when I went there about 2 weeks ago, and you see it. So what I'm trying to say is, when they have the vision to change things, you understand, then things will happen.
Yeah. Right.
So the final box lies on the desk of our leaders.
Thank you very much, Dr. Guremi. Unfortunately, we still have to bring you back at some point to help us discuss this issue further, but we have to move on right now this time. Thank you very much, Dr. Guremi, for joining us on the short notice. All right. So let me bring on our other guests. So it's rare to find businesses doing well in what clearly has been a difficult year globally. So it's indeed a breath of fresh air to come across a Nigerian-owned company that has managed to successfully navigate its way through difficult times. Shopex TV is the first tele-shopping and multi-channel. Joining us on the show now is the founder and chief executive officer of Shopex TV, Mr. Isi Abebe. Good morning, Isi. Mr. Abebe, are you there?
Yes, good morning, Mo. Lovely to be here on your show.
Good to have you on the show. So tell us about Shopex TV and the products that you're offering.
Well, Shopex TV really is a company that was set up in 2019, but was officially launched last year as a way of providing excellent product across Nigeria. And we primarily do that through wide TV marketing. So basically, people watch the commercials and they place their order from the telephone number on the screen, and the products are delivered to their houses within a couple of days if you live in Lagos. 4 to 5 days outside of it.
Okay, so why is Shopex TV? Because I have seen their pans, and recently this what's it called, air fryer. Why are you focused on providing things that you believe would provide healthy meals? This how economically viable or how profiting is it in this climate where we live? Because pan na pan, do you understand? Most Nigerians can't afford such things. How important is it, and how viable is it for you?
I mean, I think there are a couple of good questions there, and it's quite fitting that it's off the back of the discussions that you just had about the Nigerian healthcare system and what you previously said about the importance of having this infrastructure behind every country's healthcare system. But unfortunately, we lack that infrastructure in Nigeria. And absolutely, I agree with you that there has to be the right level of investment in terms of the democratic dividends in who you vote for to ensure that the policies are being put to build this healthcare infrastructure for us. But at the same time, whilst that is taking place, I think there also needs to be a call to action for individual citizens to ensure that they take a lot more ownership over their health condition. I think Nigeria's mortality rate compared to the rest of the world, 100 people is about 34.25, quite high. That's a
Right. Okay, so I wanted to ask, because I started seeing the Shopex advert.
All right, sorry, we missed you for a second. We lost you for a second. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask, because I started seeing Shopex advert on TV from 2020 during COVID-19. So how did COVID impact the business?
Well, what happened during the COVID lockdown was that we saw a dip in our sales as a result of more people staying at home and watching television. And because we had built the infrastructure to distribute our products continuously across Nigeria, we, as a business, were able to thrive in that period.
So I want to ask you concerning, still leaning a bit with what you just said, you launched barely within the pandemic, your products, your TV marketing. What informed the decision to do telemarketing? It's something we know happens over there, but this is the first time we're seeing it in Nigeria. And how has it been? Has it been profitable?
Well, one of the challenges that we faced when we first launched in Nigeria was that the logistics and the financial platforms hadn't really matched. But with the onset of a lot of the larger e-commerce retailers, we're able to take advantage of this increase in infrastructure and ensure that people were actually able to buy a product and make the transaction from an end-to-end point of view. And it's that infrastructure in place, especially the digital infrastructure, that has allowed us to thrive. And without giving away too many figures, the business is doing well, it's viable, and I suspect will continue to be around for a while.
Right. So when we see telemarketing abroad, it's quite exciting because things are done live. You can actually see the numbers going up, the calls coming in, their numbers to call, and there are things to win, discounts to get. So there's a lot of excitement when you watch it abroad. But here, we just see the adverts run randomly on television. Is there a plan to turn into a live event where people can actually engage you right there live to see, ask questions on the products you have? And do you plan to expand your product offerings beyond the air fryer and the pans?
I mean, a couple of points there. The first one is the intention to launch a dedicated live teleshop network. Now, I'm sure you'll agree with me because you're in this industry. Launching a TV operation is no easy task. There's a massive team of people that are working behind it to ensure that you deliver quality. So it's something that's quite capital intensive. But it's something that we would like to eventually do. It may not be this year, it may possibly be next year, but like you rightfully made a comparison with what happens in the rest of the world, it is an objective that we're going to be gradually working toward. And that's the plan, really. Then the second question really is, absolutely, we intend to increase the portfolio of products that we currently have. Actually, this month, next month, we're launching 4 new products. The MyFit jeans, the Genie bra, and the contour head pillows for our customers. And we expect that we'll probably launch a new product every 2 months.
Yeah, do you see...
Go on.
Do you see Shopex being able to compete with e-commerce platforms locally, internationally in the near future?
Did you get that?
Well, sorry, I sort of missed the last part of what you said.
Go ahead.
I said, do you see Shopex being able to compete favorably with e-commerce platforms, both locally and internationally, in the near future?
Well, we certainly want to work with the larger e-commerce retailers. We actually have a presence on some of these retailers. We see ourselves more as a niche offering. We primarily want to focus on a specific range of products, and we want to focus on customer services, and we want to focus on providing the logistics infrastructure to provide our products to our customers on time. So I don't think we're going to be as big as the larger e-commerce retailers. I think we're going to keep it nimble, but focus primarily on niche products. In terms of competing with the international market, one of the things that we want to do is actually encourage the development of unique intellectual property amongst Nigerian manufacturers, Nigerian developers. We want people to invent and create products specifically for the Nigerian market. We want to see a lot more inventors coming up with designs that are specifically made for Nigeria, opposed to our current reliance on importing products that have been manufactured outside of Nigeria. I think there's certainly a lot of ingenuity amongst us to develop that. And one of the things we hope to see actually is once we develop these unique products to Nigeria, we want to be in a position where we're actually exporting these products to the country.
So e-commerce is good, yes. But in Nigeria, I would like to say that physical marketing and, the jingles and all of that happen physically. When you go to Computer Village, for instance, all those phone importers, vendors are still doing physical marketing where you have some attraction in front of their business places. They have influencers dancing and marketing their products, physically. Do you plan to completely disregard that part of, marketing that is still bringing in the larger percentage of numbers for businesses?
Well, it's interesting. When you say the larger percentage, I'm not quite sure that model is scalable. I when you can have an impact if you go to the market and sell hundreds. But if you want to sell 100,000, then you've got to develop the right infrastructure across the rest of Nigeria and West Africa. And that probably wouldn't do that. But as far as catering to a local offering, local market, I think there's opportunities for other businesses to do that.
All right, thank you very much. I think we're going to wrap up with you on that. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Abibi, Isi Abibi, for this Shopex offerings to Nigerians, and we only wish you the best. We know we're going to have more conversation with you in the future on this. We're looking forward to the other products that you plan to offer us.
So like your healthy options.
The healthy options, yes. Yeah. All right, that's all we can take. Let's go on a break now. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we have our guests from Rollout Properties. They're still in the business of providing affordable real estate services to Nigerians and Africa at large. And they'll be joining us on the show to introduce opportunities they have in the beautiful city of Ibadan. Hello, Faith Inaku. Are you there? That's the corporate communications head. Are you there, Faith? Good morning, Faith. Are you there? Okay, we're having some technical issues trying to get Faith back up.
Ibadan is an interesting city. I would love to see what they have.
To see what they have.
Ibadan.
All right. So while we're trying to get Faith back up, let's go back to this issue. We were going to actually discuss our president's speech concerning the fact that Nigeria should stay united. And we wanted to hear Nigerians' views on it. But it would be great to have Faith first. If you can just get that up connected, it would be great. But if not, let me hear your views on it, because there's been quite a bit of calls.
I was seeing...
So there's been quite a lot of calls from different groups on various... Some are asking, the Southwest are saying self-determination. The Southeast are asking for Biafra. Other groups are asking for different things. And our president is saying, and has been echoed across other leaders at that colloquium yesterday, saying very clearly that we are stronger together than divided. I would like to hear your views on this. What are your general thoughts on this? Neema, let me start with you.
Okay, so me, I'm not in any of those groups asking for any form of determination. I am not Biafra. I am not Odudua. I am not, what's the other one, Arewa. So where do you leave me?
You're a Nigerian.
Yes. So I'd rather be a Nigerian. My ancestors are Nigerians. Thank you. And would remain so. You see, this division, I feel, is for selfish interests, because eventually, whatever units we break into will further divide. We would always have selfish interests for that break. But if we have a collective interest to remain together and we work towards it. So what are these agitations that people have? Maybe some form of injustice that they felt, you know, some imbalance that they felt, some regions think they are marginalized. There are things that we can put on the table and discuss. And say, okay, these are the things that you want. Which one can we do away with? Which one must we make happen? And see how much of it we can make happen. But when one region thinks, no, except what I want to happen, or maybe like what we hear around, that there's a secret code that has been established of how many times one region must control this country's resources before every other person can have a sneak peek at it. You know, so those injustices are what we feel that, you know, is happening around us. We can have them tabled, and we already have a blueprint, and I don't like people to say we don't have. We have a constitution that guarantees that everybody can. We keep amending it to, you know, to accommodate new issues. We cannot ask for a revolution now. If we have to ask for a revolution, we will get a revolution and get back to asking for another one.
Let me get Dr. and PC's thoughts on this.
Well, I don't support secession. I don't support separation. However, I believe that the federalism, the kind of federalism which is not even by the books that we are running, hasn't worked for us so far. If we're being truthful to ourselves, when something works for you, it's based on the parameters of the individual feeling the connection, feeling ownership, feeling successful, thriving within the system. This federalism hasn't made the individual constituting the federal system feel like they are thriving. And so I believe that there should be a review of our federalism and how we are implementing it, so that every individual constituting the federalism has a sense of ownership and autonomy in able to decide what goes on within their region.
Right.
So if we give that sense of authority, that one of the things that causes issues in marriage is because one person feels like, oh, my life is decided by one person. You rule my life. You can tell me have children. You will say don't have children. You can say remove your womb. You can say go and work. Right. So one person feels like, I'm not, what am I? I'm not a human being in this marriage. Nigeria is at that point where some people in the marriage called Nigeria feel like, I don't have a say in this country. You come, you take my resources, you take it away. You tell me what you are going to give to me. So we need to get to that point where every constituting region, entity feels like we own this, we want this, we're working, and we are able to achieve our own personal individual goals within our region.
Right. Let me come to VC. Your thoughts?
Yeah, so I think we missed it with the way we're being amalgamated. There was no clear cut on how the federalism should work. If you see a country like America, it's a federal state. There are states who have their sovereignty, their autonomy, and then they come together and, you know, work hand in hand with the center, but the states are able to, you know, control whatever their resources are, whatever it's in their region, and it gives competition. So you see this state is striving to do better than this state, and that's why it's striving to make sure that my people are proud to be from this state. So until we go back to the drawing board, where we understand that Nigeria is a country not for one, because there's this mindset that Nigeria belongs to a certain group of people. We need to get to the point, you know, that Nigeria is a country that belongs to everybody, and everybody must be heard. Everybody must have a seat at the table. We have been talking about zoning. All of a sudden, people are saying, give it to somebody who is competent, remembering that there's a particular tribe in this country that has not even been given an access to, you know, be at the helms of affairs. Let them even go and fail. Let's say, okay, you people now went and failed. Nigeria belongs to all of us. I do not believe that we should secede, because the truth is we're naturally not even united. Right. If that secession happens, let me tell you what will happen. You will see, hold on, you will see, let's say the Southeast now finally goes for Biafra. In that Southeast, you will hear, you're not Anambra, I'm Enugu, I'm not Owerri, I'm this one, no, I'm that one. No. Before you know, those ones who want to succeed, and we just keep having pockets of that secession.
We can't exhaust this conversation because we're going to have to bring this back. Our guests are back, but I'd like to see different angles to this. So I've heard that part, and there are other perspectives saying that, listen, Nigeria is building on the sentiment that is not sustainable. Because the truth is that once we face the reality, many countries have gone through this path, according to others, saying that, listen, in Europe we've seen it. UAE, they are together, but they have 7 different zones. Yes. There are different groups that have said, you know what, guys, this thing is not working across ethnic lines, across religious lines. Let us have a conversation how we can still self-determine. And I think it's the Yoruba Council of Elders are very, very clear. They are not asking for secession. They're very clear. Self-determination gives you that kind of true federalism that you're talking about. So when everybody understands that all of us have the capacity and we can actually get our benefit from our own natural resources and then contribute to the center, that for us works. So it's a conversation Nigerians must have, but it's not for today. We're going to have another day where we're going to discuss about it. But our guest from Roland is here, so we have to cut this conversation. But it's a conversation we're going to bring in at some point, sometime next week or so, and have a real thorough discussion on what's the way forward, what's the best option for Nigeria as a country and as entities. I'm told now that Roland Properties is here. Hi, Faith. Are you there?
Yes, I am. Good morning.
There she is. Good to have you on.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here, as always.
We hear that you have properties options for us in Ibadan. Tell us about this.
Oh yeah, good morning once again. Good morning everyone who is watching. Today I am bringing to us the gospel of the exciting opportunities we have at Ibadan. Like my friends always say, Ibadan kini so.
Yay!
But so I'm talking about the exciting opportunities that we have at Ibadan. I mean, Ibadan is an ancient city. It's a city that has the largest surface area in sub-Saharan Africa. And with the developments that are going on in Ibadan, we have the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway that is almost complete. We have the railway terminal that is stress-free, that is easy, that is clean, that can get you to Ibadan from Lagos in 1 hour, 30 minutes. Ibadan is becoming, it's dragging eyes, it's drawing eyes to itself. So I'm here to just let us know about the estates, the strategic locations that we are at Ibadan.
Can you tell us some of the estates and their locations, and tell us how affordable are these estates?
Okay. The estates we have at Ibadan, we have estates at Uluyole Extension, we have at Akpata, we have at Ebeda, and we have at Monia. But today, I'm excited because we just got a new estate at Monia precisely. It's called Dreamland Estate. Dreamland Estate is as affordable as 250,000 naira per plot. Oh. 250,000 naira per plot. Wow. And you can spread this payment for up to 24 months. Wow. 24 months. It's not too far from the railway terminal. It's just behind IITA. This is the hot cake that we have right now. And this is what I'm urging you to purchase, to key into 250,000 naira. You can spread the payment for 6 months. You can spread it for 18 months. You can spread it for 12 months. And you can spread it for 24 months.
Faith, I'm sure your target is people working in Lagos and maybe Ogun, because you said it's close to the railway area. What other attractions? Yeah. The new train station. So what other attractions do you have around that estate that will, encourage people to go there? What I'm talking about is that Ibadan also have their own fair share of traffic. Ibadan also have their own fair share of bad roads. So in that Monia area particularly, what other attractions do you have in that area?
So other things about this particular estate is it's also, in as much as it's very close to the railway terminal, it's located in a place where there is a lot of serenity. So if you're looking for a place that can be a getaway place for you and your family, it's that place for you. And like I said earlier, it's just behind IITA. So that's another center of attraction. That's another thing that can keep you going in that environment.
May I even ask, so I know that a lot of people want to have their houses or lands in a place like Lagos. Lagos is the hub. Everybody wants to be in Lagos. So what advantages does Ibadan have over Lagos? Why would I want to get a place in Ibadan?
This reminds me of something. I was just saying some time ago that I'm really considering moving to Ibadan. Why? Because Ibadan is... Now, this is not in any way shading my Lagos people. Ibadan is a really peaceful place. It's a place that the standard of living is quite affordable. It's not the hustle and bustle there is not as much. And like I said earlier, the government has done so much as to make Ibadan a very accessible place for us. The road is easy. The road is straight. The road, in an hour or a little bit over an hour, you are at Ibadan from Lagos. And now people are even beginning to live in Ibadan and work in Lagos. So Ibadan has opened up to that kind of place. There are so many more advantages. The standard of living is relatively fair in that place. It's a place for the rich, a place for the middle class, it's a place for everybody.
Faith, can you explain the pictures we're seeing? What exactly are these? Could you, the land we saw right now, is that the land you're selling in Ibadan? And we'll see something called Olive Court. Tell us about it.
Oh, Olive Court. Olive Court is here in Lagos. Those are pictures of our estates here in Lagos. So it's also for people who, we are also talking to people who are in Lagos and still want more opportunities in Lagos. Olive Court is here in Lagos, available for you. Remember, we still have our Provest plan that allows you pay for a plot of land for up to 9 months, depending on which plan you're buying into. The Platinum plan for 150,000 for 9 months. The Gold plan, 100,000 naira every month for 9 months, and the Silver plan, 50,000 naira every month for 9 months. Wow. But here today, I am bringing you Ibadan straight up, 250,000. We also have other plots in Ibadan that are selling for 600,000. We have a plot that is selling for 1.8 million naira, and you can always spread this payment for up to 24 months. And then again, you don't have to worry because we go for site inspections to Ibadan every Friday. We take you to Ibadan and we bring you back free of charge with refreshment.
All right.
that was what I was going to ask you, actually. I wanted to know if how we would meet, how we would go. But since you've answered that you go weekly to Ibadan and it's free, kindly, what would be the mode of payment, and how can they reach out to you when they are ready to make purchase?
if you're ready to start this journey with us, you can just always put a call through to us. Our call phone number is 070 25 00 4785, or you can call 070 25 00 4784. You can also visit our website, www.rolladproperties.com. Rollad spelled ROLAD, and you're well on your way. You can send in your questions via the website. You can chat any of the numbers on WhatsApp. I'll just call the number again, 070 25 00 4785 or 070 25 00 4784.
So, Faith, last week when you were on the show, someone called me privately to confirm whether your land was in the what they call a solid area. They don't want to buy land that is in the water area. What are your concerns when you're looking to purchase an area for estates? Are you looking at, those, quality land, or people who have to build some filling and all of that?
Yes. One of the things that we check whenever we're acquiring these estates is making sure that these lands are not they're not in waterlogged areas. They are not land that are that are just padded. So all our lands are dry lands, and I mean all the lands in Lagos, the lands at Ibadan, the lands at Abeokuta. They are all on dry land, and that's why we encourage people to come for inspection. So we're not just doing the talking. We're urging you to come down for inspection. Inspection is free. You can come down to any of the offices. On the mainland, on the island, at Ibadan, visit any of the offices and you go see for yourself.
Okay. All right, thank you very much, Faith. It's always a pleasure having you, telling us about
Thank you for having me.
And we really hope that many Nigerians take advantage of these offerings from Rollad Properties. Okay, so let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll move on to other things. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Right, thanks for staying with us. So we're back to our topic before Rollad came on. We're discussing Nigeria and other topics concerning even the medical trips. So let's take a few. We totally lost out on all our medical.
These 3 tweets addressed me.
Yes.
Because I said I am not from any of this tribe, I'm Nigerian. Kelechi Daniel is saying, you said you were born Nigerian, your father and grandfather are Nigerians. I put the question to you. I believe your grandfather is older than Nigeria, that's a fact. And now, what nationality was your grandfather? It was an Esako man, and he migrated from Benin. His ancestors as well migrated to Esako. And we don't know any other region. That region is in the center of Nigeria. Where do you want to put him and put me eventually? So the entity we know is Nigeria. Don't divide us. So that when I get to Odudua, I'll be a minority because I might not be able to speak the language. I'll be a minority. So don't confuse us. We've already formed this nation called Nigeria, and we would rather remain there. This one said, Nima, you can continue to be with the presidency who dominates, promise without fulfillment, and with in-laws, that's the senators and reps, who think about their pockets first. And that is a matter of governance. We are sitting and saying we want to remain Nigeria before we move on and use the apparatus, federalism, democracy, and all of that to curb the corruption, to curb the issues. So whether you are with it doesn't mean that when you have one or your person or the people that are around you are corrupt, that is to take care of corruption.
Okay, so there's some perspective. I'll come to you, BC. There's some perspective. They're saying that, listen, the sentiments that we all build on is, we are one nation. There's nothing wrong in that. But if we want to face the truth and the reality, we are all complaining about the hospitals. We're complaining about security. We're complaining about social amenities. Yes, we've tried different ways. We've had a national conference where everybody was represented, and to find a solution, yet for various interests and factors, whatever reason, it's not been fruitful. So the point is, just like many other countries, you said there's a blueprint. Other countries have done it. In Europe, they've divided themselves to so many other countries. We have Slovakia, we have all these other smaller countries that less than a million in some areas. We've had UAEs. We have other countries, even in the UK. There was a time they were having that conversation. So nobody's saying that we should divide. People are saying that every group deserves, the thief man deserves
to be heard.
Every single tribe deserves to be heard. I'm almost there. We're over 300 and something. So everybody can come to the table. But we can say, you know what, this may not be working. Can we face the reality? Or do we want to continue to build the sentiment of, oh, we are together, we're united, we're together? There's nothing wrong in staying together. I'll come to you, BC.
Okay. So we have over 700 and something languages in Nigeria, which is a problem because Nigeria is very huge and massive.
Right.
And it's going to take a special grace to be able to have control and reach every other tribe. Everyone needs to feel that they belong to Nigeria. Why a lot of people are proposing to have the different sections, that's true federalism, is because if the thief man now, they have their own, maybe under the south something, and they are able to attend to one another, they are able to bring out their pleas, they are able to manage their resources. We'll see that at the end when we meet, at the center, we're able to represent every part of Nigeria. And that's very important. One of the reasons that we started having agitations from Biafra and all of that, because they felt they were marginalized. Trust me, the true Igbo man does not want to secede. They are the ones that leave their state and go to other states to have businesses. I am not a Yoruba person, but I am in Lagos. I have my business in Lagos. I have my home in Lagos. Why do I want to succeed? But now they are shouting because it seems like they are being treated as the minority and they need to be heard. So the problem is not we succeeding. No, hold on. I want to land this point. The problem is not we succeeding, because even if we do not treat our lack of integrity and corruption, will still trickle it down to that secession and we'll have a problem. So Nigeria should focus on integrity. If you are a public appointed person,
buildable when you're in a smaller group. No,
it's your character. It's your personal character. We need to focus on our character.
Let me take this call. I've been holding for a long time. Good morning. Are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Ade, go ahead, please.
Good idea, please.
I can't hear what you're saying, Ade.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes. Go ahead now.
Okay. I want to speak about the president's trip to UK for medical checkup.
Oh, go ahead, please.
This is an opportunity. You should have asked the doctor that will interview that. Can you explain what is the medical checkup when you go to England? For other viewers, they can understand. It's a totally waste of money. The medical checkup is going to be your blood test. You take your blood and they go and check everything. After 4 days, they get back to you. This and this is what happened. They can do that in Nigeria. The president needs to come here. It's a lot of money. If you send storage there, the aircraft, everything, just for one man. When we have hospital in Nigeria, you know, we do it here. We that are hospital here, we do it here twice a year. You just take your blood sample and send it to the hospital. Whatever they want to check, you check. Liver, whatever. And 4 days later, the results come back. And whatever they want to prescribe, so they prescribe for you. That's what medical checkup is. If you have had that London doctor, you need that opportunity. Explain to Nigeria what are medical checkups when you go to UK. Very simple. So it's the wrong thing. I didn't support it at all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ade. Yes, Dr. Go ahead.
I was going to say that I get where you're coming from, Muriah, which is what somebody said to me, that there's no unity without equity of everybody involved. And that's the biggest challenge we have, is that many people feel like there's no equity whenever it is their own turn, or they don't have an opportunity to get a chance at contributing towards the country. So it is important that we address that elephant in the room, which is that suddenly, when there is a loud clamor for the southeast to come into presidency, the PDP has come out to declare that at this time of this country, we should focus on competence and not region. But it was this same PDP that ceded to southwest, then ceded to the north. So why did you cede on 2 occasions And then when you're supposed to go to another region, you now decide to focus on competence. Like, why can't we sit to education and say, okay, we would now prioritize competence within this location? Exactly. So it is like when all of us are talking about chickens, when there's a massive elephant. So the presidency is not addressing that elephant in the country. And we have seen the increase in insecurity because there are many issues ongoing around, and we are just plastering over it like, we'll be fine, we'll be fine, we'll be fine. But we're not fine. The country is not fine. People are getting kidnapped every day. Schools are suffering in the south, in the northeast, and in the northwest. The north central is suffering banditry. There are issues everywhere, and because we are trying to patch together without digging open, it's like when you injure yourself, you have a wound, then you cover it with plaster. You don't clean it regularly. There's a decay inside. So you need to remove the plaster, clean out everything, and then we can treat this sickness properly to unite.
Muyi wasn't holding for a while. Muyi was from Magodo. Are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Please, your live. Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Yes. I just want to address this issue of medical tourism by the president, because of
everyone.
We have, first and foremost, Aso Rock has had billions allocated to it. The Aso Rock Clinic has had billions allocated to it over the years. So what kind of examination is he going for outside the country that cannot be done at the villa? If so much has been allocated and there's nothing to show for it in the villa, that means that the past 5 years, there's been so much misappropriation of funds right under the presidency, and they've done nothing about it. What kind of equipment are they going to use in examining him outside Nigeria that cannot be provided? What questions will be asked of him regarding his medical history that Nigerian doctors cannot ask? What tests will be done outside that cannot be done in Nigeria? For as long as our leaders continue to utilize, exploit, and abuse our commonwealth in ensuring that they get the best, we will continue to have inadequacies in our medical, educational, and other sectors.
Thank you very much, Miriam. Yes, Nima, let me let you come in here.
So this is how I see it. Like Tokwe said, there's no unity without equity. Equity. Not when you talk about the federal alone. Nepotism. You know, the imbalance in admission, in qualification, and, you know, some of the most well-read people are people I knew growing up from the region that I'm from. But when it comes to employment, it was better going abroad. When I was even a child, the opportunities for them were not equal in this area. Initially, when they divided, it was north, south, and east. Later, we had Midwest to cover the Edo and the Delta area. There was Bendel later when they made states. Later now they have Edo. See, you see this division will continue to divide. For most people, we just want to have an equal opportunity across board. It's not even, forget all this, whether one region is ruling or one region can be ruling, but if there are equal opportunities, we understand that it is about competence. But when one region is ruling, only that region is getting employment in CBN. Only that region is getting employment in NNPC. When they said the oil was in the pipeline, everybody in the Niger Delta, including my study petrochemical engineering, how many of them got the jobs? It was about the referral. And we must deviate from that part where somebody has to stamp your CV before you get an employment.
Okay, so there are lots of issues we have to run. But the truth is that we've all heard that politics is local. Security now, they're telling us is local. You cannot do this general, everything. Economic growth is local. These are things that have to be done in smaller groups. So the question, therefore, is unity is important because everybody, equity is important. At the same time, true federalism, where everybody, every key region, now we might have to redefine what a key region is. We have to redefine, okay, because the north is saying I'm in 3 bars. There's a east, northeast, there's a northwest, there's a north central, there's a southeast, there's south, there's a south. There are different groups. So even if you break into 10 groups, hang in there. Even if you break into 10 groups, can these 10 groups have control of their resources? Can they then begin to contribute to the center? Can we then have a real conversation?
That they did not resolve at Confab. The only thing they did not successfully resolve at Confab was
they resolved, but they didn't implement.
Resource
control.
No, they did not
resource control to region. Resource control. No, they resolved. No. They didn't implement. So that resource control can take care of. Which one is
we have to continue this conversation. Unfortunately, we have been. We can't take it. We have out of time. Maybe we'll move it. If our producers allow us, we'll do tomorrow. That's all we can take. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.
Bye.